Cool seeing those PGA Tour champions on Learning Center. The sweet sound of impact. Brian Jacobs is back, our Golf Channel Academy Coach of the Week. You can find him at Ridgemont Country Club, Rochester, New York. Listen, I've got to spend some time with Henrik Stenson. There's nobody to me who hits the golf ball like him in terms of the sound, impact, solid. Can we get close to Henrik or closer to than where we are right now?
Yeah, we can, and it's really interesting. There's a lot of different learning styles out there. There's kinesthetic, where it's tactile, where you touch them, and there's auditory, and there's visual. So I have this really fun way to teach the auditory sound of impact by using a lie board.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of times the students that come to me have violent collisions with the ground.
Okay.
So they stop hitting the ground after a while. But this is what it would sound like at impact if they're hitting the ground too hard.
Wow, okay.
That's the heel of the club hitting the ground really, really hard. And what'll happen is the people, again, will stop hitting the ground. They'll start to add loft at the bottom, and they'll miss the ground. So if we get somebody that's shallow or too underneath, they'll actually miss the board completely. And I've had lessons before where the student can't hit the board. They'll give them 3 or 4 tries to hit the board, and they can't. So we actually need to steepen them. So the board won't be hit at all. They're just too shallow, too far, way too far underneath. So the fun game that we play is we try to play a sound game. So I'll hit the board first and show them proper impact so that they can hear it.
That's proper.
And then I ask them to follow me after that. And then we start to add little layers to that. We start to add the ball into it, and we encourage the student to tee it up. And then we'll do board, ball, and then hit the ball.
Now, is this compression? I love that term, compression. Is this when you're really compressing it? You're going to hit the board and hit the ball?
Correct.
No? Okay.
Yeah, the club has to move downward so they can't miss the ground.
Because people like to help the ball up, right?
They do.
And that's death to the golfer.
And we'll get them foreheading the golf ball or hitting it, high on the golf ball, and they'll say, "Oh, I lifted my head," and you're like, "You didn't lift your head. You either added loft or you're too shallow." So the ground is super important.
Use the ground.
You got to use the ground. I mean, if we didn't, we'd play golf up here. We have to use the ground. The club wants to move down just by centrifugal force, just by the way we swing it in a circle. So we'll encourage the student then to say, hit the board, hit the ball, and then we'll start to concentrate on curve and other things. But we want to hear that sweet sound of impact.
Let's do it. I want to hear it. This is instant feedback.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, too shallow, right?
A little shallow, okay, all right.
But not a bad result.
That's not bad.
So you can talk to the student and say, that was all right. You hit it a little low on the golf ball. So we want you to hit the board. And it's really interesting. They really get engaged in this. They love it.
There it is.
So that's impact.
All right.
And so you can hear the difference in the sound when one gets thinned and one is deep and then one is correct. And I've been across or around a lot of teachers that could turn their back. And they could actually hear impact, and then they could fix a person. They could say, okay, this
Can I try that?
Absolutely.
We saw Jim Thorpe and Billy Andre and Larry Nelson. I'm ready. So I got to turn around.
Turn around.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, here we go. That sounded a little thin to me.
Little thin. You got it.
Ooh, baby, come on.
1 for 1.
I won the game.
You won.
Is it over?
It could be over.
I think I should quit while I'm ahead. 1 for 1.
Love
hey,
that.
Brian, listen, today we're talking about the most difficult courses that folks at home have played, the pros have played. What's the most difficult one you've encountered?
The Black.
It is. You too.
Played there a month ago, and it is, I'm telling you, it is difficult to play that golf course. It's so hard.
What'd you find tough about it?
I didn't find the driving to be that tough to hit the fairways. I had a problem getting it to the greens. Everything is just so long, and I'm a little more of a senior statesman. So I needed to move up a little bit on the tees. I didn't take the advice of the sign that I'm standing in front of, and I should have moved up.
Well, hopefully the folks at home take advice from you. You've been great all week. To find some tips from Brian Jacobs all week long, go to Golf Channel Academy's Facebook and Twitter pages. Yes, maybe your kids are going back to school. How about your own student assessment from Brian or a coach in your area? Go to golfchannelacademy.com.